Hey, it's Shannon from Agile Ideas Leadership. And today I thought it would be a great time to think about what are the 5 things that I wish I had known when I was a first year instructional coach. So, number 1 is, what does build relationships mean, and why is it truly not enough? So if you go to any instructional coaching social media page, you'll find some new coach saying, "Oh, I'm a first year coach. What do I do? How do I get started?" And the response will invariably be, "You need to build relationships first." And it is true that this is a relationships first business. However, that is not nearly enough, nor is it really clear what that even looks like. Now, some people will run around trying to help teachers with making bulletin boards or making copies or handing out chocolates, and those are nice things to do. But I suggest to really establish upfront what your work with them will look like. Get to know who they are as people and as educators, but beware of becoming Guy or Gal Friday. What you do those first days and weeks will set the tone for all of your work in the building. And if you set yourself up as a teacher's helper in the beginning, you will continue to be a teacher's helper for the duration of the year. The second thing that I wish I had known when I was a brand new instructional coach was how to collect data to support the very existence of my position. What you don't want to end up with is at the end of the year, some sort of evaluation where maybe the school board or an administrator is saying, "Well, show me your data," after the fact. That is a bad position to be in. Learn upfront what data leadership might want to see, and consider, what data could I collect that would truly tell my story? What data would truly tell of the efficacy of my work? Think about desirable and meaningful data points in advance and set up a system for collecting those right up front. Another thing that I hadn't really thought of when I was a brand new coach was how to market my role to staff for effective understanding of my job. Now, this is especially important if coaching is brand new to your building or district, or if the role is substantively changing. One thing that's very helpful, in addition to, of course, doing some sort of presentation at in-service or handing out a flyer with a menu of items and services you can provide, is to talk to influential teachers in the building and help them understand what your job is. They will help you support your message and make sure that you are accurately being represented among the staff. The fourth item that I think would have been very helpful to know was, how do I work with reluctant teachers? What about that teacher who won't let me in their classroom or won't let me take a look at their data? The most important thing to remember, I learned right away, was that when you're receiving reluctance or pushback from a staff member, it is typically actually an expression of fear. That can be fear of being vulnerable, fear of making change, fear of letting eyes in to criticize their work. Now we go back to those relationships. Here's where your establishment of what your job is, not as an evaluator, not as someone who's in here to criticize them, but rather as a peer supporter, someone who will run the ball with them all the way down the field, will come in very valuable. Making sure those teachers understand what your role is will help reduce the fear. And the last of the 5 items that I really wish I'd known my first year as an instructional coach was how much working with adults is truly different than working with children. I don't care how many years you have in the classroom, all of your years in the 4th grade classroom will not prepare you for working for adults, in particular adults who are knowledge workers. So when we work with students, we call that skill pedagogy. When you work with adults, vocab word of the day, that is called andragogy. And to support people through a lens of andragogy is a very different skill than pedagogy. Good learning is good learning, no matter who you are talking to. However, the amount of time that an adult needs to process certain pieces of learning is different at different stages than the amount of time that students need to process similar learning. So I suggest that you do a little research about what andragogy is, what adult learning theory is. I do have some resources about this available on our website, agileideasleadership.com. I encourage you to jump on the website and check out our free resources. And also, there's a chance to message us if you want to ask some specific questions about your situation. Thanks for spending time with me today. You are going to have a great year this year and have an awesome summer.